Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a video message for our supporters and longtime allies and friends of Tibet Action who I know have questions about this recent media storm that's been swirling around His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan world. It's really traumatized and upset and angered so many of us. I wanted to just speak to this as a Tibetan, as a mother of 3 young children, as someone who grew up, born and raised in Canada in the West, between 2 languages, 2 cultures, 2 religions. I really feel like I kind of can see this for what it is, and I am so devastated that it has happened. And this clip that went viral shows an interaction between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and a child, a boy, at an event in India, in Dharamsala, public event. The child's mother is on stage, grandfather is on stage next to His Holiness the entire time, though most people who viewed the viral video will never know that. There's also earlier footage from the same event where that child, because he is, I think the parents, their family is sponsoring this event, he gets to present a gift to His Holiness at the gifts to His Holiness at the opening ceremonies, and His Holiness gives him a blessing, he gives him a hug. There is a beautiful interaction between them where you really get to see, I think it's very consequential to this question, you get to see His Holiness's mindset when he says, with this child standing in front of him, he starts to recollect his own childhood and talk about his now deceased elder brother and remember playing with him and fighting with him. And he does some other teasing, joking things with this kid in this earlier part of the event that you really see how he is looking at this child and how he is approaching or feeling in this moment. And I really recognize, as someone who now has aging parents and knows a lot of aging elderly people, I see also the humanity of His Holiness in this moment where he is just, he, like a lot of people, he's almost 90 years old. A lot of elderly people recall and are sentimental and remember their childhoods more, especially and I really are sort of so happy to be around young children in this way, and that it's just such an beautiful and innocent and human sort of feeling that His Holiness you can see in this interaction. But unfortunately, the viral clip, in a world where I think people are really sensitized because of the history of abuse and cover-up, abuse of children and the cover-up within the Catholic Church and other religious institutions, and because His Holiness is, a powerful, the head of a religious, a religion, or, a spiritual tradition, I think a lot of people have just taken this viral clip for the worst it could possibly mean, and not for a second consider the cultural, the situational, the historical, or the political context. And I think it's really first and foremost important to know that His Holiness has no history of any of the kind of terrible things he's being accused of by some people in the world, and that he's lived his life under a microscope and nearly 9 decades in the public eye, and the Chinese government has been looking for any reason to discredit him or to undermine him, and they have hacked his emails, his office of His Holiness. They have been spying on for years, and there's nothing. There's no there. What happened in Dharamsala at this event and His Holiness's whole life includes nothing to give any merit to such terrible, awful accusations. And I guess it's important for people also to know that the Chinese government has weaponized this video, this clip, and made it go viral and pushed it even, so that it would go so much further, because their goal is to delegitimize His Holiness, to undermine him, and to try to delegitimize and undermine the Tibetan struggle for freedom. And that's what this is really ultimately about. And, the clickbait journalism and the sensationalism and this quick snap judgments and condemnation that exists now, especially in our online world, is just absolutely wrong. And I can feel and see in this moment just how wrong and how wrong people can get something. Though I understand a little bit about how this appears, it's not what people think it is. And I feel like it's really important for our allies and our friends to stand with Tibetans right now, because Tibetans are truly traumatized by this. His Holiness is everything to Tibetans, not just as a religious and spiritual leader, but as the light of hope in the darkness for people who've had everything taken from them, who've experienced loss of country, of land, of place, of belonging, have experienced torture, and our culture and identity stands on the edge of annihilation as China's genocidal policies in Tibet continue to roll out to this day. And that's the crime. That's the real abuse. The real story here is China's occupation of Tibet, and that's what we need people to know and to see. So while people are paying attention, please help us spread the word about what's happening in Tibet, and also help us spread the word about who His Holiness the Dalai Lama is, his commitment to fighting global climate change, his commitment to interfaith tolerance, to secular ethics, to compassion, to peace. That's who he is, and that's who the world needs to know. And please help us put those videos and the wealth of information that already exists out there. And that's how we'll fight this. And please just continue to stand with us. Tibetans need you, and His Holiness, needs us all to be compassionate and to work for justice. And in this case, a great injustice has been done, but we can help to right this wrong, and it's up to all of us. So thank you for sticking with us, and I hope everyone can help in this next phase of the battle.